On the second and fourth Tuesday of every month, the chairman of the Charlotte County Board of County Commissioners calls the commission meeting to order. The public meeting is generally held in room 119 of the County Administration Center in Murdoch, and every meeting is conducted according to the governing rules of procedure.
The public can anticipate what is expected of them in a board meeting, and the board members know the guiding principles for their conduct at a meeting.
The rules of procedure provide for the smooth and orderly flow of the meeting. The procedures also provide fairness to everyone involved.
Our board rules also provide very detailed description of how the public interacts at these meetings with the board. The people that come regularly know this, but there's oftentimes a first-timer, and that's the reason for laying out the procedures. Also, in case there's any kind of question, you can always go back and refer to the board rules.
Periodically, the governing rules of procedure used by the county are examined and updated. That job is the responsibility of County Attorney Jeanette Knowlton, but any amendments or changes to the rules are approved and voted on by a majority of the commissioners. The latest changes were approved and adopted in 2013.
It was just updated to reflect some additional civility requirements on both the general public and the board's part of it. Not that we had an issue with the commissioners, but you want to address those things in advance of having an issue. So it talks about, commissioners interrupting each other, who has the floor type issues, but also for the general public, there were some safety concerns about people holding up signs or just blocking another audience member's view.
The audience is not allowed to use signs, banners, or posters of any type during a commission meeting. All electronic devices, including cell phones, are required to be turned off or silenced, and it's also against the rules for the audience to clap, whistle, or heckle the commissioners. Loud conversations or other disruptive behaviors are also prohibited, and anyone who becomes disruptive or interferes with the business of the commission will be asked to leave the meeting.
It's critical for good decisions to be made that the public weigh in on issues. So that is why you'll see that we do all kinds of outreach.
Every county commission meeting is open to the public, and the public is encouraged to attend and participate by addressing the board, but they have to follow the rules of procedure.
In general, the provision is that if somebody wants to speak at a board meeting, they fill out a citizen's input card. They put their name. If requested, they are asked to provide their address, whether they live within. If it's a unit that's being an MSBU or something, they could be asked, do you live within the unit? Whether they represent an organization, and if they're being compensated to speak. So they fill out the card. If they have, then they have their 3 minutes to talk on citizen input items. If it's a public hearing, they have 5 minutes to talk.
The rules stipulate public comments shall be limited to the subject being considered by the board and not include personal attacks, abusive language, or redundancy. Anyone who makes slanderous remarks or becomes boisterous while addressing the commission shall be barred by the chair from making additional comments during the meeting unless permission to continue is granted by the majority of the commission. The rules of procedure adopted by our commission are similar to the rules of procedure used by any government body.
The time limits that we have are pretty uniform through most of the counties in the state as far as the ones that I reviewed. And that is for general citizens input, it's 3 minutes is the time limit, and at a public hearing, each citizen has 5 minutes to speak. Now that is, they can extend that a little, provided the majority of the board wants to do that, but we pretty much stick to it's 3 minutes and 5 minutes.
The public may also provide written copies of their comments for the minutes and the official record.
In this type of meeting, minutes are important because you may have, depending on the item, if it's a public hearing, there may be a process where you want to challenge whatever the decision was that's made by the board, but also just to have an accurate summary of what happened at the meeting.
The public is not allowed to approach the dais, so anyone who desires to give documents or photographs to the commissioners need to hand them to the sheriff's deputy or staff member who will distribute the material.
There's citizens input at two parts in the meeting. One is at the very beginning of the meeting for agenda items. And then there's another opportunity for citizen input at the end of a meeting. Now, depending on when the board breaks or how long their day is, the board absolutely has the flexibility to decide we're not going to take citizen input until the very end of the meeting, or if they want, they want to take it before lunch break, because they don't want the citizens to have to wait around while they're on lunch break, or it's a land use meeting. Whatever the case may be, the board has the flexibility to change that second citizen input.
Charlotte County resident Judy McCoy says it's important for residents to share their opinions about issues being considered by the commissioners.
If you are in favor or concerned about an issue and you don't do anything about it, how can you complain when it doesn't go your way?
McCoy says by participating in public comment and addressing commissioners, it gives them a chance to make informed decisions.
We feel that when the commissioners see a large number of people turn out and receive emails and letters in support of an issue, that they do listen.
Public input is a critical part of the government process and the reason Charlotte County government provides multiple opportunities for citizens to share opinions with commissioners. In addition to commission meetings, other opportunities for citizens to share opinions include emails, telephone calls, face-to-face meetings, and town hall-style meetings. If you'd like to read the governing rules of procedure for yourself, you can find a link on the Charlotte County Government website. From the home page, follow the link to elected officials and then the commission office. There, you'll find links to important information, including the governing rules of procedure. Reporting for CCTV, I'm Todd Dunn.